County Commissioner leads the order. Commissioner Waring, I'll thank you for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right. On to last meeting's minutes.
With nothing.
Move is presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next up on our agenda is our calendar. Any discussion, questions, or comments? You do or what? Okay, then we'll move on to previously signed documents. Any questions, suggestions, motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next up, we have department update from Restorative Justice. Trish, how are you?
Hey, Trish.
I am all right. Nice to see
Nice to
you.
see
Yeah.
What do you have for us this evening?
Well, I've got some wonderful stuff.
But
But let's start with where my budget's at. So currently I'm at 81%, so I'm sitting pretty decent right now for what we got going on. I show, about a $768 surplus, but I'm not projecting that. I'm probably gonna spend it, let's be honest. And revenue, we brought in more money than we projected already. So the last 2 months since I've been in the program, we've collected $990. I project that we're gonna keep doing that. So that's where we're at with that. So for numbers, let me give you some numbers because I'm not so sure you've heard them in a while. So just for diversion adult, we have 29 active cases. We have 16 males and 13 females. So juveniles, we have 6. We started the program with 4, so we've added 2. Pretrial services is officially over with us now. And we had 121 cases there. We got 79 males and 42 females. The big takeaway though is 15 people are in treatment. So that's one of the benefits of putting these programs together, right? We have the resources to be able to move them and the staff to do that. So total supervised clients and the 2 of them together, it's 153 clients. So that's a pretty good number. Today was the first day that they were with us. So currently I just signed last week, I signed the contract with GPS. So we have our own GPS monitoring that will, we're starting training and doing that. We have had 2 people go to recovery court trainings, statewide national trainings. We had 2 people go to the conference, national pretrial conference, 1 for pretrial, 1 for diversion. 2 pretrial recertifications happened. 1 diversion is getting ready to test, so hopefully we'll have a certified diversion person. And the only other thing I have for you is I'm looking to incorporate a modification to our name. So, and the reason for that is because I want all of the tracks, and I say tracks, like we have a diversion track, we have a pretrial track. We're gonna have other tracks that we push clients into. And it's easier to keep them all under one name because restorative justice doesn't incorporate all of that. So I'm looking to call it Belknap County Intensive Supervision Program, which covers all of those tracks. And I think it covers also if we add things later. So if some other program comes up in the county and they're looking for us to take that on, it will fit under that track and a new track. So we wouldn't have to do that again. So that's what I have. Any questions? I'm more than happy to answer them.
can you state that new title again, please?
Belknap County Intensive Supervision Program.
So can we call it ISP?
BC ISP. Yep. And I have 2 mission statements that I've written that incorporate them, that keeps them separate, each track. So a pretrial track, it gives you really what pretrial is. The restorative justice track, it really tells you what those are. And I have 2 versions. We haven't settled on one completely yet. But it allows us to add more later if we have to without any more changes. Because leaving it at restorative justice, it really limits what we are.
Well, pretrial services is, you don't think of pretrial services as part of restorative justice.
Well, they're not the same.
Right. So
They're
I'm
not the
thinking that it's a good, we now have this program that, I don't know, it seemed like I agree, it seemed like a good idea to create a new title for the department,
Mhm.
but that it needed to appear.
But the current names will still be in it, right? They'll still be called pretrial, they'll still be called restorative justice diversion. So those aren't going away, just the overall title where they fall under,
There'll be just divisions.
just a division of it, yeah?
So here's my initial thought. Sure. And we haven't heard from my fellow commissioners here, and that's very important. Just off the top of my head, the new title to me sounds a bit cumbersome.
Mhm.
And maybe I become accustomed to restorative justice. I think it's a relatively benign title. But I'm really anxious to hear what my fellow commissioners hear about that new moniker.
Yeah, I guess my initial is very similar. That seems like a lot. Seems. To me, if I heard that, I wouldn't necessarily know what that meant. For restorative justice, and maybe just because I've been around the county for many years, and that I understand what the role is, whether that's pretrial services or whether that's diversion. To me, it's all one umbrella, so but that's not to say that the name shouldn't change or that we wouldn't need an umbrella name, which is kind of what it sounds like. So it's not really even changing the work of the roles that we're going to be doing. It's just kind of putting an arching umbrella title overall. I don't know if that is helpful in the long run or whether that just becomes more confusing.
I think it makes it easier for other people involved, like courts, public defenders, defense attorneys. It's all one place. They're not looking for a certain, hey, I need this person from pretrial, I need this person from diversion, right? It all falls on the same one. They can pick up the phone and they get anyone in that office. So it doesn't limit, because I really think when you limit it to it's restorative justice, it doesn't tell you what the whole program does. We don't send people in restorative justice to treatment. We don't do these things in restorative justice. We do those things in pretrial. But as the ISP program, we do all those things. So we know who to call to get those things. People don't care who's going to come do it.
Right.
They just know that this does it.
Are there other counties that have moved in the same direction or
Some of them are already there.
and they have,
They're not called restorative justice.
they're called.
They have their own little titles. Every county's different. Stratford County has a ginormous title that I can't even remember all the acronyms to, so. But, you know, Grafton doesn't really have a program at all. And I know the state is trying to make an umbrella to be a program where it all is on the same throughout the state. That's gonna take years and years to do. They've been doing it for years now. So for me, I just think it, like you said, I think, you know, Commissioner Warren, it's a good way to say it's an umbrella that covers all of the things that we do. Because if someone calls and says we need restorative justice, I know they're gonna want diversion, adult, or juvenile. I need pretrial, I know they're gonna need this. And it gives us room to grow without changing again.
Could it?
I have the same reaction. I don't want to sound negative because I want to keep an open mind about this, but I think it's something that when you first said it, it just sounded wordy to me. But maybe not, maybe eventually, but I'd like some time to think about it.
And you're still formulating the official recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to throw it out there,
Yeah.
you know, I just think it. It just makes it cleaner.
Could it be, could you drop the intensive? Like, what about if it's just supervision, Belknap County supervision programs?
Okay, repeat that again, Deborah.
Belknap County supervision program? Just
That's
drop
about,
the intensive.
that's what,
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't, just makes it one less
Yeah,
word
yeah.
to.
I mean,
Judicial supervision program, would that work?
no.
No, the
No.
judge is not supervising,
Yeah.
right?
Just would fix that.
Yeah.
Find out. We're now supervising them.
Or supervising the judge, yeah.
so.
Well-
Any other questions?
I just had one more quick
Yeah,
question. Can you tell us a little bit about the GPS training, how?
Yeah, so so I signed a contract with Sentinel. It's gonna be $7.25 per day to have clients on the program. And really the GPS training is to train the people in my office on how to set it up, how to put it on, you know, what they've got to do, how to, you know, respond to the items on that come up on their phone, how to review it, they've never used it, so they need training. They're gonna come to us, we're not going anywhere. Some of it will be virtual, some of it will be hands-on, but they'll all come to us.
It's
Do you already know how to do-
electronic
oh, excuse me.
bracelets, right? Electronic.
Electronic monitoring.
Did you already know how to do this, Trish?
I know how to do it because I've done it for many, many years. But two of the people in my office have never even seen it.
Would you feel comfortable just doing the training in-house, doing it yourself?
No. Because the equipment has changed, right? So I haven't done GPS training, and when I did it, it was with a different company.
So you're not current?
I'm not current with this company.
Is it my understanding, Trish, they pay for that $7? So.
The offender does, yeah, I know.
Offender
Yep,
does.
yep. Yep.
And you actually collect it?
Oh, yeah. You're not gonna be on it if you don't, if I don't collect it.
Good.
So. Yeah. All right,
Yeah, good.
Trish, thank you. We'll
Thank
take your
you.
recommendation under advisement.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
But I do like Deborah's suggestion that maybe you could condense it.
Yeah.
Consider
Worst
condensing.
method of low.
I just don't wanna lose the Belknap County.
No,
That's what
no,
we
no,
do.
no, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Unless you move, you know,
Yeah.
losing.
Thanks.
Thanks, Trish.
Thanks.
Okay, commissioners, up next is Deborah, a budget review.
Yes, I have the 2026 budget printed for you. So I thought you were gonna wanna go through that based on your work from Saturday's budget work session. And make motions either by department totals or
So
however you want to do.
right now, Deborah, as presented, this budget that we worked on represents the county taxpayer increase of 7%
Correct,
over last year. And what was our increase last year?
5.6.
5.6.
It's not 7% over that.
It's, yes, it is 7% over last year's taxes,
And last year was 5.6%.
over the year before's, yes.
Okay, all right, so it's actually. It's not that significant of an increase based on,
No, it's actually very good, because I looked last year, when the Board of Commissioners made your recommendation to the delegation, it was 12 or 12.5%. So this year you'll be presenting one that's a 7% increase, that's a significant improvement.
And so after our work, we're down to 7%. Where did we, do you have where we started, what the department's request was?
Yeah,
I think that's the helpful information in the summary form of what was presented to us and then the work that we did to.
yeah, just to find it's about $567,784 is what you reduce the department's request by.
In percentage wise. what-
I don't have the percentage.
Maybe we can. Yeah, all right, Joey, and do you want to go through the department or how do we?
You could do the general fund and the nursing home fund, you can do the departments, however you wanna do it. I really only need one motion on the bottom line.
Commissioner Waring. Do you recall us leaving any loose ends after we concluded our budget meeting that day?
I don't think we did, but I've had some time to think about. Budget, and the only area that go ahead.
You did have one loose end, which was the key fobs.
Oh, yeah.
That I was gonna get back to you about, and I have found out that we do need the fobs in both departments. They're different fobs. The fobs in John's maintenance department budget are for the doors, to open doors. And the key fobs or the fobs in the IT budget are for multi-factor authentication. So for nursing home and corrections where they can't have their cell phones, they need a fob to get a special code so they can log in.
So there'd be no duplication.
So there's no duplication. We do need to leave it in both places.
One area that I had thought more about is would like to revisit is the outside agencies. Well, this document that we've got. And specifically. UNH Cooperative Extension. Conservation District. That's prior to our budget meeting, we asked them to submit. Any material or consequences. Looking forward, should funding not be restored. In their requests and it being stayed at 50% of where they were this year, what effects that would have in subsequent years. You know, we did receive a letter from the Conservation District. Remember correctly, the letter spoke more in realities than in specifics. That's if funding is not received, then you'll lose grant funds, but there was no specifics as to we're risking X number of dollars. So, and similarly, I don't think we received anything from the cooperative extension. So I guess my thought and request is that we give them one more opportunity to come before us to speak to one, their budget request, two, our amount, but we're at this point of level funding them from 25 and to better explain what the consequences of that budget cut, ongoing budget cut or deficit would be to their programs and effect to the county residents. They certainly, I think we all.
Which ones are we gonna invite that?
For me specifically, UNH Department of Extension and the Belknap County Conservation District are the two that I feel most strongly about. The only other one would be Lake Region Mental Health. It's cut in half, 16,000. I'd certainly be willing to invite them as well. But a year ago or 6 months ago, or 8 months ago, you know, I certainly started the charge to get them refunded, and I just feel that before I fully vote to keep them level funded at 50%, I'd really like to hear from them if they would like to come present to us what that budget cut deficit would mean to them.
Yeah, I agree, Commissioner Waring, if they are willing to come and present that they were injured by the delegation reducing their funding by 50%, then we could consider restoring the 2024 numbers for presentation to the delegation after the holidays in January. So I think that
I'd be willing to listen
would
to
be prudent to do. So Deborah, if you want to extend formal education, formal invitation to them, and
Yes.
we'll see when, if they want to come to our next meeting and present, as Commissioner Waring has suggested.
Yes.
Okay.
And is it just the two? Is it three? I mean, the other one that we cut funding for CASA as well as the Tilt Northfield Recreation. Tilt Northfield Recreation was a new request. I'm not overly compelled to To understand, to hear them, it was a new request, so therefore
Norway,
And if the money,
for the 7,500, I think we checked and their operating budget is significant. And so I'm not sure that $7,500 is actually
is it my understanding that CASA didn't draw that $7,500 funds from the county?
Well, it's true that we have only paid them half of it. But I just don't want it to be, it's not a matter where they draw the money. We pay them quarterly. We just decide to, for our cash flow purposes, we won't give it all to them up front. We'll give it to them on a quarterly basis. So, I don't know why we are behind unless the payments recently in the works. Do you know?
Anything this year. Sorry, I'm like.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3750 is what was appropriated. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. So we haven't paid any of it. Yeah, they just haven't asked and we haven't sent any.
That's what we were told.
Yeah, they did. We haven't sent them any money and they haven't asked. The ones who are used to getting an appropriation from the county usually ask us quarterly. If we don't send it, they'll ask.
Last year, I actually had to reach out to CASA to have them send me something so that I could have something to pay on. And then, but I still got nothing from it.
Well, I don't think if they requested it, then you'll need to have them. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to remind the board that CASA funding was really a one-off from 2 years ago when I think one or two members of the delegation arbitrarily recommended that we just insert this line item of 7,500. That was not the commissioner's recommendation. So, Deborah, if we can just go back real quick to, were we going to invite mental health or just the extension and conservation district? Because mental health, I believe, has pretty significant outside funding, but the extension and the conservation district do not have access like resources. Is that correct?
I'm not gonna say that. I don't know where they're all getting their money from. I know Lakes Region Mental Health was cut in half like the others.
Okay. Is it the board's pleasure to request them to present as well, mental health, or concentrate on the extension and,
I'd be fine with all three.
okay,
I think it would be
I think
good
we need
to,
to include all three.
yeah,
agreed.
all right.
So did we have anything else that unresolved from our last meeting, budget meeting? I don't believe there was.
We need to vote on the files.
Oh, yes.
So they're in the budget.
They're in the budget, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, you can, if you wanna wait until you make a decision on outside agencies and then just vote the bottom line, and it will go.
that makes sense.
And I want, it's easier for me if, on the 17th, if just collapse these to department totals.
Just the totals.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion on the budget items? No. Seeing none, Deborah, we have other business? Excuse
That
me.
I'm aware of.
Okay, then we'll move on to public comments. Any members of the public want to speak? I see Mr. Patrick Wood is here. Good evening, sir.
Patrick, how are you?
Gentlemen, how are you? Thank you very much.
Handouts, okay?
May give you some more, but we give you each one to begin with. As Peter knows, and as you all know, I'm the chairperson of the Laconia Human Relations Committee. And over the past few weeks, we have been asked to consider the issue of homelessness. And so we established a committee to plan a forum, and you've got the invitation there to that meeting next Wednesday, the 12th of November, at 7 o'clock at Laconia High School. Mr. Spanos has been a part of this planning committee. And I will say from my personal observation, he's been a very positive, helpful member of that committee. In many ways, primarily from my perspective, keeping me from going off the deep edge on certain things. Being in balance. I have two people on that committee that do that, and it's probably their most important job. David Osmond and now Peter Spanos. So, but the issue of homelessness is not obviously just Laconia's issue. It's the whole county, as I said to you before. So we're hoping that with some publicity, we can get this out to the county as well, and hopefully get people from the surrounding communities to participate. As we have learned over the past few weeks, the issues of homelessness are multiple. There are many aspects to it. It isn't just one series of issues. It's a whole panoply of things, which means that you can't solve it with just one magic pill. It requires a lot of different aspects. So our hope is that this forum, we're going to have a panel of about 10 people, including Commissioner Spanos, to explain to the public what's happening, what's available, what's being done already. And that's probably going to take the first half hour of the program. And then it's going to be opened up to the public. And as we heard at the Human Relations Committee meeting a month or so ago, there is a lot of very strong feelings on this. And a lot of that was expressed last week at the forum for candidates for Laconia. And a lot of that feeling is, you know, coming from personal experience, personal fears, and it has to be heard. But what we're going to ask people when they make their comments to also think about what might be a solution to the particular concerns that they've raised. The purpose of this forum is not to tell people we're here to solve everything. The purpose of the forum is to explain so there's less misinformation and less non-understanding. But most importantly, to say we want to help, we want you to help us find solutions to the problem. And so it's really important that when you go back to your communities, that you do what you can to ask them to be a part of this as well, because we need all of Belknap County to help with this. It's a really important issue, and I wish I had a way to let people understand that many of the people who are homeless are not there because they want to be homeless. There are a number who are homeless because they want to be, but many of them are there because they have had a lot of difficulties one way or the other. And so, as Commissioner Spanos said at the very first meeting, you know, these are real people. These are human beings, and we have to be compassionate, but at the same time, we have to be respectful of the other citizens in our communities and our taxpayers. So it's a balancing act, as you all know, going through this budget. There's a lot of balancing going on in there too. So that's what this is. I have some more copies of this. If you would like them to hand out to people, I can give them to Deb and get them to you, get them out. It's going to be in the newspaper. I'm not sure just what day yet, but we'll get it in maybe a couple of days this week. And So it should be very interesting. We invite you all to be a part of that, be there. As I said, Mr. Spanos is going to be on the panel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Indeed, I will leave.
So it's, it'll be interesting. Anyway, it should be, hopefully it will be a positive meeting. I'm sure there will be some moments that will be difficult, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm going to moderate this as best I can. So, Peter there to help me as well. Okay, so that's, the first thing I wanted to say. The second is we haven't heard, the Housing Authority has not heard from the state on that the Congregate Housing Services Program. It's in the budget's been finalized, but they haven't prepared or sent us the application for the grant yet.
When were you expecting to get that?
Well, we were expecting to get it in August.
And who's your contact person for this correspondence?
I can't remember the name of the person down, it's whoever you sent the letter to, the recommendation.
Oh, yeah, I don't,
Yeah,
I have to look it up.
I can't recall the name right now, but we're in constant contact with them.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting.
Yeah, so I think there should be a follow-up with that person just to get some clarity and maybe some certainty as to is this going to happen? And if so, when is it going to happen? Just as a courtesy, the holidays are rapidly approaching. Nothing really gets done in December, so.
Oh, that's right. And we've been doing that. That's the frustrating part. We keep asking, we have, you met Jonathan, who was here one of our meetings. He's been asking with them on a regular basis. And we don't know what's holding it up. But we've had to make serious adjustments because we can't keep funding it from our own funds on this level. So fortunately, people are still moving ahead as best we can, but it's been cut back substantially. So that's just an update on that. I'm going to keep pushing on it, and hopefully at our next meeting, we'll have more information.
Well, I think, Patrick, with respect to that request, and I know this is something very important to you, brought from commissioners, I think, over the summer, and you were expecting a positive result.
Right.
I think that I would suggest that you might set a deadline on when you're gonna hear, and if not, then I think there has to be. And if you want to send me, if you don't send a hard deadline of January 1st, if there's no correspondence by then, if you can send us or Deborah a contact person, we can reach out to the contact person directly. And if we don't get the answers, we have a mechanism to kick it higher, much higher up the food chain.
Can't tell you how much I appreciate. We will certainly do that. I will keep you posted. I'll send them updates on it as well. The third thing, I don't know if any of you watched or viewed the candidates forum.
I did watch it on YouTube.
Okay. There is a serious question being raised by at least some of the councilors as to whether or not the county should be recognizing the fact that they're in Laconia, and there should be some recognition of the services that you receive from the city of Laconia on their share of the tax bill.
Mhm.
I don't have any position on any of this. I'm just letting you know that that's what some of the city councilors.
We're prepared to talk to the city councilors anytime they want to come to one of our meetings, or we can meet with the county administrator and the commissioners. As you know, we just completed our budget work, and we're looking at an increase.
Right.
So we're running things as lean or leaner than the city of Laconia.
Right.
But we're happy to field any inquiries they may have as to what we do with our money and where it's purposed.
I think that's exactly what I was going to ask. And so you can talk to Kirk and maybe we can get something, because there's nothing worse than having miscommunication or lack of communication on these issues. So, all right. Have any questions of me?
I do not.
No.
Thank you,
Thank you.
and thank you for could be somewhat of a long night for you, but I think it's worth it, and I think the timing is good because you timed it post-election. And then Laconia is going, not a blank slate in January for the inauguration, but there'll be certainly a new mayor at the top, and then perhaps as many as 3 new city councilors, and this is the time to run this forum. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very
much. Good seeing you.
Thanks.
Email this.
All right.
Deborah, so we've gone through other business, just had public comments. I guess we can move into a non-public session that's on the agenda tonight.
Yes, if someone makes a motion to
I'll make a motion.
enter into non-public session in accordance with RSA 91A :3, paragraph 2, subparagraph A.
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
roll call,
Oh, roll call
roll
vote.
call.
I'll say yes.
Commissioner Spano?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Thank you.